Well, here we are. This is the last video, the end of the homework. We're going to talk about going to the edge. As you know from probably some of the material earlier, the edge is where all the juicy fun is, where we try to stretch it and go where no one's been before. And so this session is about what Michael is calling the sort. This seems like the beginning of everything where we figure out the edges of the puzzle and we're trying to find our teams. And so we'll do this by, first of all, creating an energy bubble. That's my main job there. I've done all this other homework effort so that is out of the way because I'm going to be concentrating on energy. And I've got helpers that I'm sure will be, you may you may read this and think, oh, I know I'm supposed to help build the energy bubble, but it's going to be very interesting to feel and sense what it's like. It's going to make it easy to get the vibe. It's a very high frequency. It's very wide. I'm not sure. Michael keeps telling me high and wide, and I don't quite know what that means, but I think it gathers everybody up, and you will find that even if you have trouble sometimes getting messages, it's going to be very easy. So just show up. It's a self-activated activity. That means that it's going to maybe look like a big mess. It's You've just got to show up and then start listening and follow threads around to who do you talk to, where do you think it's going on, even setting up a way to call a team to you. You may have an urge to make a sign or um, I don't know. This is what it means. I'm not telling anybody what to do. You show up and you get your own message and you do it yourself. The main thing is everybody's listening. So you're listening. What you hear will be unique to you and what you can do. And with everybody there in the bubble together, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Now, the details of how this would work. Remember, 5D, you've got thinking, you've got feeling. Thinking is okay, but kind of optional. What Michael keeps telling me is everybody's thinking plenty. We don't need to work on that more. Feeling is going to be at first kind of like the most difficult thing to do. If you're activated in thinking, well, nothing's happening, what should I do next? So one tidbit to remind you is to use resistance to guide you. It's kind of like the shoulder of the road when you're driving, and when you hit that shoulder, it tells you to make a little correction. And so if you find you don't want to be where you're at, it may be as simple as the sun's glaring in your eye, or you just feel itchy that you want to get up and move. These are the ways that you get messages telling you to do something else, to walk across the room, to go open the window, and when you get over to the other side of the room, maybe somebody will come up to you that they got the feeling to go to that window at the same time. These are the things that you're going to be playing with there. Of course, this chaos can lead to floundering. It's very normal. If you get lost, you've got to be quiet and listen for whispers. I'm sort of thinking maybe we'll set up one little corner that's the quiet corner where people go when they get a little lost to go do a little breathing and get refocused. But hey, I really am interested to see what everybody's going to come up with on their own. You want to allow shifts and changes as they come along because they are what keep things happening. So sometimes your initial feeling to get to a change, to do something else different, to sit on the floor instead of in a chair, is going to shift you along, um, not all the way, but part of the way toward where they're trying to nudge you. So there's nudges happening, and they'll work with whatever they can get through to you. So it's pretty interesting. There's an old movie that has nothing to do with metaphysics, but the name of it is Things Change. It's said with an Italian accent, which was really funny, and I always think that in this situation. Things have changed. Just go with it. Let it. Keep going. So you are going to figure out how to prepare for this, prepare for something that clearly happens in the moment. you have to turn on your vibometer, know how it feels to get the vibe. So practice it on easy things. That came up earlier in another video. Things like travel routes that have less traffic, parking places. That's a good combo on manifesting and vibing, because when you have this happen, you pull into a busy restaurant parking lot, and the front parking place that you really prefer, someone pulls out exactly so that no one else can snag your spot, then you're really listening well and you've got your manifesting well. Where to sit at the meal times here at Seven Oaks is going to be an interesting approach. It's like a mini version of the session outside the bubble. So for that reason, just use it all the time to get you where you need to go. And just vibe out getting the vibe. Sometimes you need to follow the vibes to lead you to the information that will help you. Um, a, Something that I like to do is sometimes think about my astral travels in the morning. That's what you're bringing back sometimes with dreams, but you can also use in meditation to go look at it and see what you did there, because it's easy to vibe there. So you're used to doing it there. And remember, you're using your brain in the 5D way, left and right simultaneously. So don't try to turn one off. And one last little tidbit about the timeline merge that was mentioned early on, which Michael said it was in January, that there were two choices: a timeline nexus, which would be a split where the planet needs to make a decision to turn left or right. And instead, they took those two timelines and they synchronized them. Michael keeps showing me a visual of two big cogs that they had to slow one and speed one and basically get them synchronized. And what that meant was that one of them was not vibrating at a high enough vibration, and they had to synchronize the two within a range and then merge the two. It's an unusual choice because it's got a high level of difficulty, but that is what happened. And I'm still looking around, observing to see evidence of this. It's more of a feeling I've found of the way it hits me is a sudden, I'll call it a Scooby-Doo moment, like, whoa, you you think, how did I not know that? This doesn't seem like something that I would have missed. So there may be events that pop up that were from the alternate timeline that than you were in, that are slightly different or downright strange. But it's like everybody else knew it but you. So I'm still wrapping my head around this. There may be some examples of this. This is going on just in recent weeks. And so I think we can compare notes at the gathering and see what is going on there. So to get ready, I guess the only thing you need to remember is it's time to put on your 5D glasses. And this got messed up there. Now, we're going to put on our 5D glasses, and basically that's what it feels like to me, is trying to consciously shift into fifth dimensional viewpoint and energy and feeling, and how easy it will be, and back to the comfortable house shoes instead of your pinching high heels or dress shoes. And we're going to have a lot of fun at the session. And we will see you at the gathering.